You know that moment when it's dinner time, but everything is frozen? What if I told you you can cook chicken, beef, or fish from frozen and have it ready to eat in 30 minutes? Hey everyone, it's Yumna from Feel Good Foodie, and I was really skeptical about using the Instant Pot first until one day I cooked frozen chicken in it and I was an instant believer. Then I tried it with frozen beef and frozen fish, and I couldn't believe how easy, efficient, and tasty the results were. Today I'm going to share with you my methods for cooking the 3 kinds of proteins, some useful tips, some watch outs, and some great dinner ideas your family's going to love. I think once you see how effortless this is, you'll be an instant believer too. So let's get started. We're going to start with frozen chicken. The Instant Pot Duo can look pretty intimidating the first time you use it, but there's a guide for everything from making beans to chicken to yogurt to even cake. And I'm going to share with you today how easy this is so you won't be intimidated at all. After using it just a couple times, you'll realize it can really help your weekday cooking and meal planning routine. The Instant Pot Duo comes with this trivet. You won't need it for the chicken, but we will need it for the beef and the fish. So I have here 3 8 ounces of chicken. If your chicken is a big block, you should go ahead and run it through some water just to kind of separate them. But if it's kind of lined up like this, you don't need to do anything. You just take it and dump it right into the Instant Pot. You'll have the same cook time whether you have 1 chicken or 10 chicken breasts, but don't fill it more than 2/3 of the way up. This is so great because it's practical whether you're cooking for yourself or for a large family. And now you can go ahead and season it. I like to keep it pretty simple with some salt and pepper. And you can use any seasoning you want here. I really like to add some garlic powder and sometimes either paprika or oregano. And finally, you want to add some broth or water to the chicken. For a 6-quart Instant Pot Duo, you'll need 1 cup of liquid. If you're using the 3-quart, you could use half a cup. Now we're going to place the lid on, lock it, and move the valve to sealing. Now press pressure cook and set the timer to 10 minutes at high pressure. The Instant Pot will first come to pressure, which should take 8 to 10 minutes, and then the timer will begin. When the cook time is up, let the pressure release naturally for 5 minutes, and then do a quick release for any remaining pressure. It looks juicy, tender, and fully cooked. But it's very important right now to check the temperature of the chicken just to make sure it's at 165. Now you can go ahead and remove the chicken from the Instant Pot Duo and place it on a cutting board to cut, slice, and use however you want in a recipe. The inside of the chicken is perfectly cooked and it looks so moist and delicious. I'm gonna slice it up and I'm gonna show you how we like to have it for dinner. And whether you use chicken broth, vegetable broth, or just water, don't toss the liquid at the bottom of the pot. It's actually really delicious and I highly recommend straining it and using it for soups. And what I like to do is just add a little bit of this chicken broth right on top of the chicken just to keep it nice and juicy when you're serving it or storing it. And if you are just serving it like this, you can garnish it with a little bit of parsley right on top and even some lemon slices. And here's a fun way we like to eat this chicken. So I like to take a few on some pita with some garlic sauce or any kind of sauce you want. And then just add a couple pickles, some tomatoes, and lettuce. We make sandwiches like this very often for the kids. Just kind of, here's some cooked chicken, here's a bunch of toppings, help yourself. Let's give it a taste. Perfectly juicy and delicious. So that's frozen chicken. I'm gonna show you next frozen beef. We're doing the same thing now with ground beef. So I have here 1 pound of ground beef that's completely frozen. As you can see, I get this at the butcher and I just kind of put it in my own Ziploc bags. So this is what it looks like. And what we wanna do is we wanna go ahead and place the frozen ground beef right in the trivet of the Instant Pot. And you want to make sure to use a trivet because it's just going to keep everything together and it's going to keep the beef away from the liquid in the Instant Pot. For the 6-quart Instant Pot Duo, make sure to add 1 cup of water to the bottom of the pot. You can also season the ground beef, which I highly recommend just because it cooks into the beef and it just tastes better that way. So I like to keep it simple with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of oregano or any kind of extra spice depending on what I'm using the beef for. And what I like about this method is there's actually no need to use any oil whatsoever. So it ends up actually being a less fatty dish. We're gonna place the lid on, move the valve to sealing, press pressure cook, and set the timer for 20 minutes. The Instant Pot will first come to pressure, which should take 8 to 10 minutes, and then the timer will begin. When the cook time is up, let it release naturally for 10 minutes, and then you can do a quick release for any remaining pressure. So carefully open and remove the lid. And what you want to do is use a fork to check for doneness in the middle of the ground beef. So let me show you what it looks like on the inside. And you can see that it's fully cooked. Because ours looks perfect, I'm going to use the trivet to pull this out and place it on a plate. And unlike the frozen chicken, we want to toss the water that was cooked in here because it's just going to contain a lot of grease and it's just not as flavorful as the chicken broth. And now what you can do is you can use a meat chopper, a spatula, or just 2 forks and just kind of break apart the beef. And the seasoning we added earlier is giving the beef all the right flavor. It smells so aromatic, and the garlic powder is just perfect with the ground beef. Now that the beef is cooked, there's so many different ways to serve it for easy weeknight meals. We like to add it to tacos, make sandwiches with it, add it on top of rice, or even add it to spaghetti. I'm gonna show you how we do like a 1-pot spaghetti version right now. So we're gonna press the saute button and add between 1 cup and 2 cups of marinara. And before you add the marinara, you can also saute some onions, green peppers, mushrooms, all right in the Instant Pot Duo. But we're just gonna make it quick and easy today. We're adding some marinara sauce. We're gonna add the ground beef we cooked right on top, and I'm gonna add to it some cooked spaghetti. Now just give everything a mix until it's well combined and warmed through. And that was so easy. You can cook the spaghetti while the beef is cooking and then just assemble everything together. And there you have it, easy weeknight meal made in the Instant Pot Duo. This was no active time at all, just the Instant Pot did all the work, and now we can enjoy an easy dinner. So let's do a quick little taste. The beef is perfectly cooked and moist, and the whole thing is so flavorful. Next, it's time to cook frozen fish in the Instant Pot. Cooking fish in the Instant Pot is even quicker than cooking beef and chicken. Let's go ahead and open up the cod, and you can do this method with any other kind of seafood like salmon or mahi-mahi or tuna. And because the fish can get flaky, it's important to use a trivet when cooking frozen fish in the Instant Pot. So same drill, we're also gonna add 1 cup of water to the bottom of the Instant Pot Duo. And you can season it with some salt, pepper, and any other kind of seasoning depending on what you're using the fish for. I'm keeping it simple today with just some salt and pepper. Place the lid on, close it, and move the valve to sealing. Pressure cook on high for 2 minutes. The Instant Pot will first come to pressure, which should take 8 to 10 minutes. Then the fish will cook in just 2 minutes. When the cook time is up, you want to do a quick release and then carefully open the Instant Pot Duo. With fish, you can check the internal temperatures at 140, or you can just look at it and make sure that it's flaky. To me, it looks perfectly cooked and flaky, and the 2 minutes is the perfect temperature. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it with the trivet very carefully and place it on a plate. And you can just see how flaky the fish is. Look at that. And just like the beef, I also like to just toss the cooking water that the fish cooked in, because I don't think it tastes very good. So you can just go ahead and discard this. So now you can have this as is. We love having it with some rice and veggies, or we can also love having it with some tacos. So I'm gonna show you how to assemble a really quick taco with the fish. All right, so I've got some items here for some tacos. You can have so much fun with this. I'm just gonna put some lettuce, some of that fish right on top. And we can add some salsa to it and some fresh cilantro. And again, this is a great idea for a family where you can just cook the fish, have a bunch of different toppings, and everyone can assemble their own tacos. So here's what it's looking like. How good does that look, you guys? Such an easy fish tacos for a weeknight. Doesn't have to be complicated. The Instant Pot Duo, cook the fish in just 2 minutes, and you've got dinner on the table in no time at all. So I'm gonna do a little taste test just to see how that fish is. The fish is actually like buttery and flaky and just perfectly cooked. I am loving this recipe. I love the way the fish came out, and it is just so good. See, I told you guys it was gonna be easy. When you're in a pinch and you've gotta get dinner on the table, I hope you remember these tips for how to cook frozen chicken, frozen beef, and frozen fish in the Instant Pot Duo. It's such a great time saver and a perfect hack for weeknight meals. Let me know in the comments if you try any of these methods. And if you found this video helpful or fun, please share it with some friends and family. I'll see you guys next time.